think control. I think we constantly we seek.
right?
Yeah, I disagree with that.
You think they always want control?
I think control. I think we constantly we seek control to the same extent that we feel death anxiety. To the same extent that we feel that sense of isolation. That is to say that the more we're confronted by death anxiety, if we experience trauma, for example, the more we're likely to pursue a sense of control. That's how we recognize OCD to develop. Hypervigilance, a symptom of PTSD. All these things come up. The schema shifts, right? That tell us that the world is dangerous and we have to prepare for it. All these are attempts at trying to control something that maybe we're confronted with something that felt very much beyond our control. That is the recurring theme that I see in all of my counseling. Mastery of skills. You know, you can become a Jedi master. If you boil it down, it is control. Identity is control. You know how you will react in unpredictable situations. Everything, if you boil it down, comes back to this sort of remedy that we have to, maybe push away the death anxiety that we feel, or the fear of isolation that we have.
Do you think there are humans out there? This is a black-filling thing to ask, and obviously Cohen agrees with this. But do you think there's humans out there who can go through their life enjoying it?
Sure, I've met people like that.
How do you know though?
Well, as far as I can tell, I guess. I don't see any of like the symptoms. It's not projected in any way. They're not seeking it. They're not seeking escapes.
Bro, I've met dumb people who look like they're having a blast, and then it inspires me to do dumb shit.
Yeah, I do admire those people. Like very,
one of my chapters said it best. He's like, yeah, dumb people can do dumb shit and enjoy life, and everything goes great.
Yeah, so do those people want conquest? I doubt it.
But try and let a smart person do dumb shit and see him be tormented with everything that comes with that. And I'm like, oh shit, I guess I'm pretty intelligent because I do dumb shit.
A dumb person doing dumb shit is very aligned, right? It aligns their internal and external world, so it keeps them consistent, right? It won't feel depressed.
Union of opposites.
All right, let's move on. I've been thinking lately, whenever you expect something to happen, for example, let's say you're late for work and you're worried your boss will get mad at you or fire you, but the complete opposite of what you expect happens. Isn't that the exact opposite of manifestation? Why does it work this way?
Yeah, I would say the number one way to explain this is there's you and there's an unconscious you. So it's what you want when you're awake and not when you're sleeping. Basically the best way to explain this, if you don't believe this stuff, check this out. Have you ever really liked a girl and you've done everything you can, go on nice dates and you did everything right, you paid a lot of money, you did everything correct, but for some reason you would always show up late, you'd always be irritated over the smallest things, you always pick the fight, you could not make it work unless she was trying to make it work, and you're thinking to yourself, why with this one? Why with this one of all of them? I like this one the most, this one's the best looking, blah, blah, blah. It's because your unconscious self is tripping you up. He hates the bitch. That's the scary part. That if your unconscious energy,
or he doesn't feel that you're worthy.
Yeah, but whatever it is, it always.
It's usually the latter. It's usually the latter.
So when people say, "Oh, I really wanted that relationship to work," what they're really saying is, "I didn't want it to work because not both sides of me wanted it to work." Whereas you'll have relationships where both your unconscious self doesn't trip you up, and your conscious self. And what's funny is, I've noticed that a lot of guys, for the times their unconscious instinctive impulsive drives are not fucking them up, they'll consciously pull away from that girl for whatever reason, and these are like really toxic habits because that means you're always choosing the wrong one, right? But yeah, if you don't understand how this works, it's like you have a conscious desire and an unconscious desire, and then anytime you manifest something that's new in your life, first of all, not only does it come from like a month before, but it's probably deep something that you're hiding that is coming out of you. For example, Jung had the best, the way he explained this was one of his female clients said, "Why is everybody so mean to me?" And he said, "Why are you so mean to you? Why are you so mean to everybody?"
Yes.
He freaked out on her, and she snapped out of it, and she fixed her whole. She's like, 20 years later, that was the most profound shit. And it's like every time you see a human say,
Can't take that approach anymore.
I used to say all the time, "Why am I always getting banned?" And so, Zerka, why are you always banning yourself? If you don't understand,
Very good. Yeah.
once you start seeing it like that, you'll be like, "Oh shit, Zerka, are you saying I manifest the dark shit that I don't want, or the nice shit when I'm being dark?" Yes, that's why I say the law of assumption and law of attraction community is full of shit because they only talk about manifesting like a robot and not your shadow and whatever the fuck it's bringing, right? And sometimes it's great. Sometimes shadows have to trade and save you in a fight or whatever, but it's not always that thing. But yeah,
that's a great answer. I remember reading that. I forget which book that's in with Jung, but I remember that. By the way, just a quick answer to this person. Isn't this the exact opposite of manifestation? That question. There's a very simple explanation for this from a psychological standpoint. It's that subconsciously it's an anxiety that you have, and anytime we have an anxiety, our mind seeks to compensate for that. So you'll start to act in ways that would undo that, right? Or maybe allow you to come to work a little bit earlier, or maybe you're more nice, maybe you're doing more things at work to not have your boss stay mad at you, right? So when you feel, for example, I know every time I'm worried about like, oh, am I going to wake up too late for work tomorrow? I find that I wake up extra early, even without my alarm. It's because there's some part of your mind that's preparing you for that, right? It's already taking action. That tells you how important the subconscious and the unconscious is. Okay, we're way behind, by the way, Zerka. What's the key to happiness? Okay, this isn't going to take too long. I would say don't pursue happiness. You cannot pursue happiness. We live in a very unpredictable world. I think you should seek fulfillment. I think you should seek control to the extent that you have any control over your life. So find a way to master the interest that you have, to master the skills that you have, whether it's playing an instrument or a sport or something like that. Lean towards your family, and 9 times out of 10, people value family, and for whatever reason they're completely misaligned. Maybe they don't go visit their parents. Maybe some political bullshit that got in the way. Get away from all that. Go reconnect with your family. All right, Zerka, I'm in a place where synchronicity is at an all-time high. I'm seeing people who I think of, and people are texting me as soon as I think of them, like bitches. What does this mean, and where should I go from here?
I don't really get it.
I'm in a place where synchronicity. What does this mean? What does it mean that he feels very synchronized?
Well, in a good way, I did a great Twitter space that you guys should definitely listen to about how the most dangerous thing in the quantum field in this matrix that everyone agrees on, not just geniuses, everyone, whether they're atheists, Gnostics, whatever the fuck, it's the dangers of life. Here's a quick summary of it. The dangers of life are not when you lose and you gotta get up and all that cliche faggot shit. The dangers of life is when you're winning. Because have you noticed, as soon as you put out into the quantum field with your brainwaves, life can't get any better. Enough blessings from life cannot get better. Have the girl and the job, it cannot get better. And now it all starts being taken from you because you said to the quantum field, to God's computer, you said, life cannot get better, so it can only get worse. And that's why anytime you're in like a flow state, you're doing good in life, don't hold on to the materials and think things cannot get better. I know it sounds greedy, and a lot of us don't want to like be like this, but you have to evolve. Whether you're evolving for the worse or better, it doesn't matter. It has to turn. and that's up to you, right? You have to evolve. So if you're getting this paycheck in a great life, then you have to go for this paycheck, and you have to just keep evolving. And whatever you do, do not notice. As soon as you notice and you panic and you go, oh, I want my world to stop here. Freeze time. Time out here. That's why you can see the most pathetic faggot humans on earth, and women especially. Like women talk like this, but mostly beta men. You'll always know faggot when you hear someone say, I just want a house on a farm with kids. I just want this. I just need a wife and kids. I just need
bargaining universe.
I just need football and this. And I just anytime you hear I just energy, that person, his life is about to go to dog shit. For some reason, those people get squashed, and in their heads they think they're like, I'm not greedy. I'm not asking any more from God. I'm perfect right here. But what you're really saying is, God, your blessings are limited, and I don't want to play the game now that I'm up. Now that I'm up, I don't want to play the game. I don't want the objective world's curveballs. I don't want any more curveballs, and that's when you get the most curveballs. The bitch leaves you. You got no money. You lose everything. The greatest thing you can learn is not how to lose, it's how to win, bro. If you win, and it's like these faggots who kick a ball in the net and celebrate. You're doing a ritual that never happens. Is it a surprise ritual?
You know, to add something to that as well, sir, is that when you're winning, you begin to now you're confronting yourself, which could be the scariest thing, because if there's some part of you that doesn't feel deserving of being a winner, you are not going to win that match. It will self-sabotage and destroy everything you have. But to your point about the about from the peak that you can only go down, there's actually a study done on marriages that people who marry for love and were more likely to divorce than arranged marriages. And the thinking behind it is that people who marry for love marry at the peak of their love. At the peak of your love, you can only go down from there. Whereas from an arranged marriage, you start off, maybe there's some attraction, and it sort of builds throughout life. But you guys have to be careful not to ever feel like you're at the peak of your life, because Zerka's right. You want to stop time, you want to freeze time. Time doesn't work that way, and it will always seek to undo you, I think. So be mindful of that, and be mindful of how you confront yourself when you're winning.
And I've noticed that most of us, why we do that thinking like, oh man, life's perfect, man, paycheck's good, going on a date to getting some chicken pot pie and whatever. What you're really saying is, I don't want to play the game because I'm up, but everyone else on earth has to keep suffering. That is the most spit in God's face you can do, bro. And everyone thinks they're being less greedy by thinking like that. And we all call Logan Paul greedy for always wanting more and more and more. But Logan, in his dumb Owen Wilson brain, deep down instinctively, there's an intelligence about him that he knows if he doesn't evolve, he dies. Whereas most humans think if they don't evolve, they don't evolve. That's not how it works.
But there's something different about Logan as well, that he has to keep playing up whatever role comes up for him to play. Because nobody actually likes Logan for his personality.
I don't care about being like,
I'm saying nobody would stick around.
If I look at a healthy individual, it's Logan. Not because he's intelligent, not because he has good habits and stuff.
No,
it's because of how much he wins. He understands the Nietzsche.
He has to win though. He's not like somebody like
exactly. But Nietzsche's world of power says you have to win. You have to.
I mean, for his career. If he doesn't, nobody likes Logan for Logan. They like him for the
I'm not talking about being liked. I'm not
WWE and stuff like that.
talking about being liked. I'm talking about if you grab 100 people on the street and just tested them, they will score a lot less psychically whole, healthy, confident than Logan. And Logan's the dumb one. He's a low IQ one. So how can he be low IQ if he has a more peaceful existence on Earth than the average male? Because he understands the winning part. He gets the winning part.
No, I think it goes back to what we were talking about, ignorance being bliss. Maybe he just doesn't have that kind of awareness. I don't
look,
know.
Look at Jake. Dumb. One in the chat of Jake is like literally mentally ill dumb. I don't want to be mean, but we all know the guy doesn't know 2 + 2. He's a fucking retard. But why is Jake Paul psychically more whole and individuated and healthy than the average male who went to college? Because of his will to win. Same with Ben Shapiro. Let's look at Ben Shapiro. How often does Ben Shapiro get depressed? But he's the winning type A personality. These are better personalities. And type A's can be depressed. But I'm saying what the missing ingredient from the average male is realizing how much they're losing compared to a Ben or a Logan.
We'll come back to this. There's a couple things we can talk about.
I'm saying Logan is a dumb guy to have figured out depression. Smart people don't figure it out. Logan figures it out because of his competitive drive. There's the conquering factor is actually being fulfilled here.
Okay. Hey, you didn't spell my name wrong. What the hell? I wanted to ask for advice. I was around 18 and witnessed my girlfriend's brother get snaked in front of me and later became an 8-on-8 at a party. I stood there like a coward because I didn't join the fight. I feel a deep sense of shame till this day. I'm 22 and $7,000 in debt. I live at home and single. I'm guessing the relationship ended after that.
For his brother's fight?
It's his girlfriend's brother. He didn't jump in to help his girlfriend's brother. He got jumped, I guess.
Yeah, first of all, it's an 8-on-8 people brawl.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I've been here, my first ever working at Bar None experience. I was 21, and the first time shit popped off, and I was like my first couple weeks bouncing, I froze. And I never thought in a social setting where everyone's trying to be the cool guy that I would freeze. I was like big boy. I was big boy. But I still remember when we were doing the incident report in the basement, the most traumatic feeling of everyone talking about the incident, what happened, and writing it down in front of all the cute girls and stuff like that. And it wasn't that they pointed out and said, Zerka, you froze. It's that nobody talked to me, and they kind of didn't even care. And it was like I was in this background water boy energy, and I just sat there like the big guy I'm thinking to myself, they don't even know I'm in the room with them right now, because nothing eventful came out of me in my hand. And I've never in my life spiraled so hard into drinking, into dumb shit, and then became the first one. Payman would always say he's the first one to throw hands at John. And it totally made me go that way. But I'll tell you this, for some reason, even after I was experienced, and I felt like totally like, wow, look at me, I'm that guy. Eden would come to my nightclub, he'd see me kicking out people and all this aggressive shit. And to this day, I remember that loss more than any wins, any looking cool, any events that I was the badass in, or getting everything I want, or I'm doing everything like brave. I don't remember any of the brave shit. To this day, I still just remember feeling like a bitch. It's the worst feeling, and it was kind of the same scenario where it's like not really a fight. It's more like everyone's involved. And I'll say this, man, I don't even have an answer for that because thank God I kept working at the bars for years to get it out.
I think these are the kind of experiences that change the entire trajectory of your life. I think for this person, they'll spend a lifetime thinking about this and trying to make up for it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can make you a lot braver. It can make you a lot more.
It can make you a martial artist.
Martial artist, make you maybe more confrontational, which could be a good thing because if you confront things, ahead of time, it saves you the trouble of having to be the first one to jump in the fight next time to prove yourself. So don't stress too much about it. You're also young, but that's probably as bad a scenario as it can be, especially from a girlfriend.
And here's another thing: it could have been worse. Let's say you jumped in and got knocked out in front of her, right? Now you would have felt useless and dead in front of them. The only thing that can happen is if it eats away at you for 6 months to a year, 2 years, stuff like that. Don't wait 3 years of it eating away at you, and you won't even know you're triggered. You just be anxious. immediately solve it by entering into martial arts. You don't even have to be good at it. You just have to do it. Period. For some reason, if you put it in the back of your mind, you won't even be able to enjoy millions of dollars, bro. I guarantee you that.
Well, also the way we think about shame is that, and I've talked about this before, but it's a feeling that some part of you is unacceptable. So try not to think of the emotion of shame. Try to follow that cognition down and see where it takes you. What part of you is unacceptable? Is it the part of you that feels maybe weak or whatever? Maybe I don't want to speculate. I don't want to make you feel worse, but explore that, and your mind will find ways to overcompensate and maybe move you into martial arts, maybe move you into the direction of being more brave next time. But it's a shitty experience, but I don't think it has to define you. I think if anything, it will take you to the opposite.